Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show. You're watching Seeing the Unseen with Christopher LaPrath. My name's Kenan, his son, and the producer. Tonight, the title is Show Up, which, growing up, there was the knowing is half the battle, but really, uh, uh, the expression knowing is half the battle, right? But really, most of the work is in just showing up. How we show up determines our quality of life, how people see us, and what we're able to bring into our lives and accept. So, that being said, for anyone who's out there joining us for the first time or any time at all, be sure to say something on whichever platform it is you're watching from, Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook. Say something so I know you're here. We'll get you in order for a reading here, and then the first time, of course, there's no charge. Going forward, after that, it's $10 per card, or you can pay $100 and cover the entire month. So thank you to everyone out there for listening. Enjoy the show. And here's Christopher.
Hey, happy Monday night, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. That was a little bit startling.
Sorry.
That was Kenan dropping something. But happy Monday night. Great blessings to you. Every show I light the incense. And it's around a topic. It's for you. But this is about, we talked a little yesterday about expanding rather than contracting your energy. This is again about expanding, but it's about showing up in ways that you've never showed up before. So this is that blessing for you to show up, to unveil your gifts that you probably didn't even know you were there, and for opportunities to come along for you to say yes to. So, incense is lit. We've got the group card, which has to go along with the showing up. This is the they call this card the Arcturian light codes. Now, Arcturus is a giant red star. It's 25 times larger than our sun. It's near. We see it from the we see it towards the northern hemisphere, but it is said to be part of a system of planets that are inhabited by blue beings that are in the fifth dimension. The actual dimension, not the music group. So they're amazing beings, but they facilitate healing, and it's being able to show up. Life isn't about what happens to you. Life is you playing life, and it's about going, okay, this is an interesting thing that's happening right here. What is it that I've contracted to learn from this? Why is this person in my life? What is it that I need to learn from attracting either that person or a like-minded person, similar behaviors, similar attitudes? I'm needing to get a lesson here. Once the lesson is got, the lesson goes away and doesn't keep coming back. So these Arcturian guides are working with you. So if your ears start to ring, if you see maybe flashes of light, maybe even out of the corner of your eye, if you're feeling like you're home alone, but you're feeling that you're not, those are these beings that are around you. We have way more senses than the five senses that we know of, with the sight, the sound, the taste, the kinesthetic feeling. There's way more. They've discovered 23. They're discovering more, but there may be hundreds of them that we're really not aware of. So that's why I had on the show a couple of weeks ago Duncan Hepburn, who was the neuroscientist, talking about some of these discoveries. Well, you're part of that discovery. It's why I have this show. I want to hear about the non-linear weird things that happen, because they're not weird. We, as the left brain type, may be trained. We want to make sense of it. We want to come up with a logical explanation of it. But sometimes there just is no explanation of it. And we're opening ourselves up to new learnings, new discoveries. You know, we were talking about this, I think, Marilyn. Is Marilyn on tonight, Pitts? There she is. Okay, she's on first. Okay, thank you, Marilyn. Marilyn was a nurse for many years, as well as Abby. So back when they discovered bacteria, how they discovered it is the doctors would help these babies be born, and then they wouldn't wash their hands, or they would be in the like the autopsy room, wouldn't wash their hands, and then they'd come and deliver babies. And this one doctor started to notice, why were all these babies dying? And so it took a traumatic event or events like that to go, wake up, what lesson am I not seeing here? And basically that's how bacteria was discovered. And I know if any nurses on the show like Abby and Marilyn, those are things that you would know about, but you're part of the discovery. Every one of you is on this spiritual discovery, and that's what these Arcturian beings, along with other guides, other angels, other spirits around you, your own energy field, is out there discovering certain things. You know, Jeff's on the show tonight. I love when he drives up to Sholo, which is about 2-3 hours north of here, up in the mountains. It's 20 degrees cooler. It's beautiful. But he'll be playing music, and these animals will randomly run across his path. It's almost like he draws them. And I hope, Jeff, you've gotten into the habit of, now, what is that? What is the spiritual animal coyote represent? Look that up. Dwell on it. It's showing you something. And it has something very applicable in your life. So we're attracting all of these different experiences, and I want to celebrate that. So this is the show up card. Basically, it's future thinking. But you're in the present creating your future. It's happening. Okay? So downloads, ringing of the ears, flashes of light, and just a sense that there's something around you. That's an example of getting these heavenly downloads. Okay. So, my dear Marilyn, Pitts, your card is the hollow bone. Now, what I love about this card is shamans, which are the holy people in tribes around the world, but especially with the Native Americans, they would use a hollowed out eagle wing bone as a flute. And so this flute, it has to be completely emptied. It has to be completely emptied and cleaned before that wind that you blow into makes that sound. For you, Marilyn, this is completely letting go. We had a really good reading this past weekend. This is reiterating or reminding you of the same thing. Eliminate being the doer and allow things to happen on their own accord. Let them unfold. You don't have to reply angrily. You don't have to respond in a defensive manner. You just go, oh, this is really interesting. It's an interesting point of view that you have that point of view. You might want to take that when somebody is confrontational or argumentative. Oh, it's an interesting point of view. You have that point of view. And just stay out of it. It's not that holy books, self-help books are bad or wrong. because I've been directed, especially when I started this spiritual path, I was directed to reading some of these books, and I would get really excited. Oh my God, I found the truth! I found the truth. I've had spiritual teachers tell me that when they get the money, their mission is to get rid of all the self-help books. Just because the self-help comes from yourself, and it's your awakening, and it's paying attention to the signs around you. For instance, it's like 5 degrees outside here in Phoenix, and I went outside, and there was this flutter around me. I had this giant moth land on me during the day. I'm like, okay, this is really, really amazing. But when you look it up, it's spiritual unfoldment and a spiritual revealing. Pay attention to what comes your way, Marilyn. Only pay attention to maybe 10% of what you think. And at least only pay attention to even less than what other people think. So this is you trusting your soul. This is you coming back into being played by spirit, and that's what we all go. Our goal is. I don't stress out over the show before the show, because I'm like, no, the right words will come. And if they don't come, like I was reading for a gentleman about 3 weeks ago, and I saw he was 5 years old, and then I just saw blackness, and I went, he's not ready. Something very traumatic happened. So that's when it's important for us to work on our brain. So this exercise right here is called brain gyms, but it's called cross crawls. Please, you cannot do enough of these every day. Wake up in the morning, do as many as you can. You're going to the restroom, do as many of these as you can. Watching TV, do as many of these as you can. Whatever you're doing, it helps to integrate the brain, the safety parameters, so that you're able to look at things that maybe even used to scare you before. So that's what I'm working with him on. First of all, to be safe, for him to look at it and to allow other people to see it, to be able to help him. So there may be something, with people that you run into, you don't know what they've been through, but there can be this belief system on them, and you just simply don't want to be there when they start their ranting and raving. So, great card. All right, my dear Dawn. Thanks for being here. So, Dawn, this is the bold step forward. $55 is 10. 101 is a new beginning. It's asking you to take the bold step forward. I know, man, any of us that have changed jobs, any of us that have gone through a divorce or gone into a marriage or had a big change, a big move, there was a lot of fear and anticipation, maybe some anxiety. Girl, bold step forward. It's going to work out for you. But that's what you signed up for. You signed up for the magic. You signed up for that bold step forward to move you forward. So before the show today, I was watching this video on bumblebees, and bumblebees don't fly. they levitate. What do you mean they levitate? They create a frequency with their wings. Did you hear about this? They create this frequency with their wings, and they discovered like a hollow place in their chest that creates a resonance, and they begin to levitate. That sounds like science fiction to a lot of us about levitation, but it is, all it is frequency. It's resonance. So when we get out of our comfort zone, we're raising our resonance, we're raising our frequency, and it takes a bit to get used to. It's challenging for me to go on cruises just because it takes a while to get used to the sway of the ship or the motion of the ship. You're getting your balance on, but you're moving into a new situation, a new opening for you. But you have the ability, like a bumblebee, to create the frequency that you need to sustain it. It's also called the further gate. It's the furthest you've ever been. You know, I love that scene in Lord of the Rings when Frodo, Merry, and Pippin, the three friends, and Samwise, the four hobbits, they crossed this line, and they realized when they crossed this line, it was the furthest that any of them had ever been away from home. So there's that discomfort, but also this excitement. And excitement and fear can feel very similar. All right, my dear Don. Okay, Lindsay, here we go. We've got Laura tonight. Thanks so much for being here, Laura. And by the way, thank you for all of your contributions. Really appreciate it. It helps to keep the show going. So, Lindsay, this is called the vanishing mirror. It's called ego sublimation. So the annoying people around us can be a real gift if we allow them to be a real gift. I'll give you an example. When I was much younger, they used to call me the Crisco Kid because I could never stay present. I was kind of on this fight or flight, kind of all the time. But I didn't realize it. Like, I wasn't conscious of it. I just thought, well, I didn't think anything. And anytime I would get around anybody that was on fight or flight, I would get activated by it. And I would either get angry, I would fight, or I would flee. That's why they would call me the Crisco Kid. Most of the times I would flee because I would just simply be gone. Where did Chris go, they would say. Where did Chris go? That's how they got the term Crisco Kid. Because I would just be gone. I'd go on fight or flight, and I'd be gone. Now, when I run into those people, or I have them as clients, or I'm not activated by them at all, because I used that when I was activated by them. I use that as a tool to go, I need to work on me. This is that sublimation of the ego. Like, because the ego was created in order to survive. And at the time that it was created around a situation, it was probably entirely appropriate. But 20, 30 years later, it's not so appropriate. It's like It's like you want to hear music, but you don't reach for your cassette tape anymore. Or my age, 8-track. I want to listen to music. Where's my 8-track? No, you don't go back. You're aware now that, there's other ways to listen to music. There's other ways of dealing with this type of people. So anywhere where you're activated, if you've had some run-ins with people lately, use it. Use it, Lindsay. Going, this is an opportunity for me to work on me. What is this? Where did this come from? Not mine, not my circus, not my monkeys. Return to sender. Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you. I totally know you understand it, but it's something. No matter how enlightened a person is or how long they've been doing spiritual work, we came here for a purpose. We came here to get all the lessons checked off the box, right? Get all the boxes checked, get them all taken care of, so there can be even situations or circumstances that help us to reveal more. So it's kind of like an ongoing thing. Yeah. And then the vanishing mirror is then you're not triggered anymore. Things just simply go away. All right. Dear Laura, thanks for being here. So what we do, Laura, is I just shuffle through the deck and I'll let your guides pick the card or the message that is probably the most important for you right now. So this is the 8. 8 is about abundance. 5, 5, 3, 53. It's about abundance. So thank you for being here. I know this is your card, this is your message, but I wanted to share that with everybody on the show, with Marilyn, Abby, Tiffany, Jeff, Lindsay, Dawn, Marilyn, Pitts, that this is about abundance coming your way, but in the form of a stranger. And that stranger is you, or an aspect of you that's been hidden or put away by family, growing up, by society, where you shouldn't be the way you are, or anything repressed. It's coming back up. It's not stranger danger, it's stranger in a good way. It's you coming into more of the aspects of things that have been hidden that you didn't know you were capable of. It's why I didn't start going to college till I was in my 50s, because I didn't think I could afford it. I didn't think I was smart enough. Nobody in my family had done it before. That's a very light explanation, Laura, of that. But it's some of these latent gifts that are going to be coming up. And it's a new way of thinking. So when these new thoughts come up for you, it's like, wait a minute, this feels so foreign. This feels so not me. But it actually, what if it is you? This is like moving past the fear of any difference. Where anywhere where you were growing up where you had the fear of being different, or you really had to force yourself to fit in, that's all going away. And refute the illusion that sameness, being the same, acting the same, but letting all that go, thinking that's the only way. No, this is you coming into your true uniqueness, and that something really extraordinary is being offered to you right now. Remain curious, remain teachable, and allow this newness and these possibilities, allow them in, and to just bring you along. It's a defining moment. Take the risk. So it's a little bit like Dawn's card about the further gate. That was Dawn's card. The farther gate. Okay, Jeff. Oh, you want something very specific, Jeff. Okay. Nobody better at this, Jeff. Be free of forcing things. When somebody wants something from you, oh gosh, look at the time, I gotta go. Oh gosh, that's really not my policy. So a really good, when you're driving through that country road with the music on, through the forest, and you're seeing these animals, how does that feel to you? That's how you want everything to feel. That gives you a marker. If it doesn't feel like that, put it aside, let it go. Because you can't force a chicken to cook. You've got to leave it in there for the full cooking time. Otherwise, you can make a lot of people sick, including yourself. Some things you have to put on the back burner, leave in the oven for an extended time without pushing it or without feeling like you're forced. Go back to that road, see the animals, trust the drift. And just experiencing life as it comes. Because you're creating it. And look how far you've come. Look at what you've accomplished, Jeff. I'm really proud of you. Really proud of you. Okay, my dear Tiffany. Dust Devil. You are the Dust Devil. You stir things up and you're meant to. So when you tell a child not to eat the whole cake, you're doing it because you know that if they eat the whole cake, you know from experience, they're probably going to get a major bellyache. And a child doesn't understand that. They just maybe think that you're being mean, right? Mean grandma. They don't get it. They will later on. But I've just said no to people. Some people I just don't read for. Somebody asked me the other day, oh, rather than do it on Zoom or over the phone or in person, could you just write everything out and just email it to me? And I had to sit with that for a day or two, Tiffany. I'm like, what's my resistance to that? And it wasn't that I was resistant to it. It's just that I can't write as fast as I talk. I could record it, and get one of those apps that then write it out for you. I could do that, and I actually thought about doing that. But then I realized why this person was asking that is because they wanted let me try to explain this. They wanted the knowledge. They wanted it on paper where they could read it, but they didn't necessarily want the energy of the reading. Does that make sense? It's why a lot of people buy every self-help book on the shelf, because they think the knowledge will actually do the changing. And this was the person that when I knew something happened when he was 5, and there was just blackness there. So I knew that he had a safety valve up and he wasn't ready to look at it. My point of telling you this is there's some people that you need to say no more chocolate cake. There's limits. That's just not my policy. You can make it not about yourself, you can make it about your policy, because people actually then don't know what your policy is, so the word policy does something to them. It's like it stops them. This is you raising some hell, stirring up, but it needs to be stirred up. This is helping people move out of stagnation. Tiffany, this is where your forte is. It's one of the reasons you came here to this earth, is to move people out of stagnation that they may have been in for lifetimes, not to mention just this lifetime. This is you moving as a doctor, you moving, you teaching, you stepping up, and oh yeah, it might create a dust devil, but it needs to happen. Things need to move out of stagnation around you and for you. Okay. Okay, so my dear Marilyn and Abby, we've got John Laurel, Ashley, and Sun and Moon. Okay. All right, my dear Marilyn and Abby, did you make it back from Michigan yet? They went up there, everybody, to rescue Boston Terriers. Really, really cute. So Marilyn, this is the horned cactus, the saguaro. You've seen them. We went when you were down here last year. We went to the Desert Botanical Gardens, and you got to see these cactus close up. But it's about your resourcefulness. So take a look at your money and look at how there's an opportunity or investment coming up. To take a look at your finances and go, okay, what is it that I want to do now? And have it come about, even though it may seem impossible. When I bought this condo that I'm in, I've told you all on the show, I never thought it was possible because I'd never bought a place of my own ever. And the reason I didn't, and this was another example, so Lindsay and some of the ones I've already talked to on the show, when these issues come up, I was afraid to buy a house, and I realized it wasn't because of the money. I thought I made it about the money, but it wasn't about the money. It was about I was afraid if I moved into a place and bought it and it was haunted, that I couldn't leave. Because I was raised in a haunted house. So I had some of that carryover. So I had to clear that out. This is about doing what it is you want to do, Marilyn, and having the resources to do it. It'll come about. Whatever you've been thinking about, no matter how bizarre or unlikely you may have thought about it a month ago, that's changing and having the resources to do it, coming about. And my dear Abby, quiet the mind, surrender. Marilyn, just remind Abby, are you willing to let go of the need to figure it out? You're really smart, Abby. You're really well trained. You have a very technical mind. This is moving into surrendering, feeling it, letting go, letting go. So even having I know you're doing a book club where you're talking about, I know Marilyn, you do the book, it's not really a book club, it's a book discussion about a book. But Abby, you have an ability to read between the words. So don't hold back with what you're feeling or reading. That's actually, one person thinks, you know what, this is what the book means. Oh, you know what, this is what this paragraph means. No, Abby. Well, I'm not going to say no, but speak up, because your viewpoint is probably more of the point as to what the author was trying to make than what the other person is trying to tell you what the words are saying. You look beyond the words. It's like surrendering to the space between the words. I hope that makes sense. Did that make sense on that one? Okay. All right, John, Laurel, actually coming up. And Ashley Walsh, nice to have you. Okay. All right, John. Luck and right timing. So John, these lights that you've been seeing, ask them what they want. Ask them to teach you. You know, you lived in Wyoming. You sold land up there. And at dusk, if you saw car lights coming your way, you knew that they were coming your way. And you walked down to the road and you asked them what they wanted. So when I'm going to talk to everybody on the show on this with this one. When you sense a presence, when you see the lights, ask them what it is that they want. Have them show you. Now, you may be able to auditorily hear something or feel something, or get a flash or a picture, trust it, John, because this is the fortune's wheel. You're being downloaded. Trust the downloads. But be very specific. What is it that you want me to know? All right, my dear Laurel, here we go. Repairing body, mind, spirit. So, Laurel, you know how I was watching this show on the police force, and they have these bulletproof vests, this bulletproof clothing, and they have these cameras that they wear. So this is the Me Talks card. It's repairing the body, mind, spirit. So when you go into these places to play, put mirrors up, protect yourself, put the spiritual body armor on. And it's not that you like live in doubt or fear. But anywhere where, so it protects from bullets, it protects from intentions of people, it protects from words, but it still allows you to love the person, not love their behavior, not love their outburst, not love any of that. It's like loving them, not loving their behavior. And anywhere where you've had bullets fired at you, just return to sender, but not even go into that neighborhood anymore. It's like it's being more aware, Laurel, of the places that you're going into, because you're really becoming more and more sensitive. It's really important to trust that. And you can, and we can talk over the phone for me to explain this a little bit more, but it's really a good point for all of us. It's like clearing the space before you go in, so it's good for you. Ashley, you've been a year on the show?
Today.
Oh, good. So you bring your selenite and bracelets. And so, Laurel, those are important. Obviously, right? But this is more of being aware of feeling the space and clearing it out. You do it. I think it's why Einstein said imagination is more important than knowledge. It's not really imagination, it's energy. It's clearing it out with energy, purposefully. Visual Sage. I love that. That's it, Laurel. That's absolutely perfect. I love it. Visual Sage. So everybody, you don't need to go buy Visual Sage. I think Laurel's suggestion is fantastic. that it's like clearing your space. Kennan is awesome at, he's way better than I am at clearing space. And he's really good at it. Okay. Ashley's been on the show a year. I can't believe it, Ashley. That's awesome. Thank you so much. So this is the 11 card, actually. It's 56. Comes up to 11. Angelic. Anywhere where you've been taught, or are you willing to look at what you have been taught about and around money? So have you ever broken a glass in the kitchen, and you get the broom, you get the vacuum, and then 2 weeks later you're still finding little pieces? So I know you've done a lot of personal work, but when you're on this spiritual quest, you're still going to find little pieces. Like, you're going to find pieces that you haven't looked at before, haven't seen, even though you've maybe spent a lot of time, like Lindsay, going back, if you're still on the show, Lindsay, it's like that as an illustration. You're constantly looking at new ways to improve, new ways of looking at things. It's like you can be so focused where things are going great, you're geared up, things are on track, you have such a drive, such momentum, that you're kind of shocked when you come across a wall, right? You go, I've swept this kitchen 100 times. How could I have missed that piece of glass? It's the same type of thing. It's imperative that you change your attitude now. It's not an invitation for you to push harder, cancel other plans, or worry about winning or losing. Forget that. That's not what this is about. This is about allowing you to slow down and contemplate the part of the manifesting equation that you and everybody else forgets, that life on life's terms are going to override your best laid plans. And it can be very inconvenient, actually. But you're a human being, not a human doing. You're a human being, not a human doing. So it's a type of spiritual non-action right now. Observe. Use this as a lesson, because you want to be free of hammering through the wall. You want the wall to completely disappear. And it'll take a little bit of meditation and time to look at your family's view of money. We have Sun and Moon.
And then Ashley Walsh, and then JC Clark came on.
Oh, JC came on? Okay. All right. All right. So Sun and Moon, I was raised in Montana, and we'd go to these creeks, and they would just be crystal clear, absolutely beautiful, and you could be completely ignorant of the currents, not aware of how, because they were so clear, the creeks were so clear, you really didn't have a concept of how deep it was. And then you didn't have any concept of the currents. And so a lot of people would get really hurt because they weren't aware of, they would just kind of jump in, think that they were going to be fine. This is you starting to collect life vests and throw them into the river without you jumping in. Highly recommend stop in any way, shape, or form saving people on any level or trying to help them, because it's working out, it's getting rid of the poor me out of your life, or the poor me people that are addicted to poor me, and moving that out of the way and being aware of the depths where you can mentally, emotionally get in over your head. This is you coming more into shallow water. There's no shame playing in the kiddie pool. It's fun. Okay? You don't have to go into the depths to prove yourself in any way, shape, or form. All right. Ashley, my dear, what is the moon saying? Well, let's find out. All right. So, this is changing partners. It's not your it's making the universe your partner, and then everything else falls into place. Be free of behaving or doing things hastily, or worry that things are not working out as quickly as you think they should. Universe is your partner. The universe has got you. Unequivocally, actually, 100%, the universe has you. Trust it. The universe is your partner. And this is the 31 card, which comes up to the number 4. So it's a very balanced way of being and living, economically, financially, career-wise, emotionally, mentally. Very balanced. The universe has got you. Source has got you. You're good. Trust that. Be free of wasting your energy on worry or anger or frustration. Okay. JC, thanks for being here. It's so great to have you. So JC, okay, here we go. Probably, I'm going to touch on this. Understand, I'm just touching on it. This is family stuff from way back, generations clearing. This is called the Wailing Tree. You're here, you're wanting to reconcile all of that misplaced energy, misplaced belief systems, because it's felt at times that you're a unicorn, having been born into a family of donkeys. Nothing wrong with donkeys, but this is you're clearing. I just see it very clearly. It's like clearing a lineage or belief systems around especially with relationships. And how women were trained to believe in a certain way about how they should be treated, but actually what would be best for them. So this is that is, if you're feeling like kind of emotional, this is stuff coming up from your lineage, but it's coming up to clear. Okay, and then we've got new people, Subi and their two daughters, Ida and Penny. Awesome. Thanks for being here, you guys. I know it's late, but Subi, let's go. So Subi, you're always connected. This is the Sky Bridge. It's just your perception. So after this reading tonight, your perception will open up a little bit more on who is gone, who's on the other side, who's crossed the Rainbow Bridge, and understanding that they're still there. They're still around. I'll tell you this story. I had a friend, years and years ago, she had a giant schnauzer. We all loved this giant schnauzer. The dog, one night, crawled up on her bed, licked her. The dog was only like 3 or 4 or 5 years old. Wasn't very old, but was sick, but licked this woman's hand and then died. About 5 or 10 years later, this woman wakes up and she has this image of this dog, giant schnauzer, in the sky, surrounded by a circle of stars. And she knew this dog was coming back. So she looked online, and they were living in Canada. She looked, and there was a breeder. It was called Celestial Breeders, I think in San Diego. She calls the breeder, and she says, "Hey, do you have a litter of puppies?" "Oh yeah, we had a litter of puppies. We just have one left, but that's ours. We're going to keep them." 2 weeks later, the woman who owns the dog calls and says, "We don't know why, but we're supposed to send you this dog." So they bought the dog. They had it shipped up to Canada. The minute the dog came out of the crate, it ran over to its favorite toys first, played with its favorite toys, then ran over to this woman's hand and started licking her in the exact same place that he was licking her when he died before. My point of telling you this, Subi, is stop thinking your imagination is just your imagination. You sense things, that sense is going to be growing. You're going to be more aware. Especially with people that have recently crossed over, no doubt, there's no doubt they're around you. Okay, Ida and Penny, right? All right, so Ida, let go of any fear of making the wrong decision. Wait. Trust your gut. Please. Trust your guidance. Trust you're being guided. No, please do not make a hasty decision. Wait for it. Trust that it will be revealed to you and that you'll make the right decision. Are you willing to release, clear, destroy, and uncreate the fear of making a wrong or bad decision? All right, my dear. Here we go. Penny. Wow, you want something very specific, Penny. I'll tell you that. I'm shuffling quite a bit, which is unusual. So, Penny, chill. Rest, renewal, get some lavender to help you sleep. Put salt under your bed. I recommend it for all of you. Abby and Marilyn can tell you about this. Put a bowl of salt, cereal bowl full of salt, put it under your bed at night. That keeps lower vibrations away from you. You're needing to clean your house, clean your room, clean your area. I'm talking energetically. So Abby and Marilyn can go over that with you, how to do that. But you're particularly needing it because you're very, very sensitive. You're a very sensitive person, and you've stepped in dog crap before. It's not fun. It leaves an odor, and it kind of, you can track it through the house. So be aware of stepping in energetic crap of others and having it on you. Clear that off. Put salt at your front door, put salt at your back door, so when you step over the threshold, you set the intention that nothing and no one comes in this house unless it's for my best and highest good. So nothing that may have been out there during the day, energetically, otherwise, comes into your home. But those are some things. Also, for Subi, all of you, the three of you, Ida and Penny, use smudge, use sage. Like Laura was saying, mental sage. Okay, we got everybody? All right. Love you all. We'll do this again Wednesday night. Thank you so much for being here. And give me some feedback. Let us know how it felt, how you liked it. We'd love to hear all of that. And have a great evening. Love you.
Oh, John was on the list.
I got you.
Yeah.